So they got you, huh? A boy motor gave you brainworms. It's not life-threatening, but it will make you miserable. Don't worry, as an expert in brainworm removal, you'll be in good hands. I've made it my sworn duty to eliminate the brainworms virus. I remember it like it was yesterday. Fields of trans women serving cunt. Reduced to blahaj-hugging boy motors who get social anxiety ordering at McDonald's. All because of it. TTT. I was the only one spared from the brainworms, but I can't tell if that was a curse or a blessing yet. What's that? You don't know what brainworms are? Well, let me explain transgender brainworms for you, my friend. Brainworms, or cerebrum vermibus, are a form of terminally online brain rot found in trans femme individuals. The general symptoms are immense unfounded self-hatred, inability to see oneself as a woman, a strong desire to hide oneself in a hoodie, impossibly high standards for passing, unironic beliefs in Blanchardism, and, of course, being a terminally online bottom. What makes brainworms unique is that they affect the trans femme community only, specifically terminally online bottoms who watch transgender video essays while hugging their blahaj to fill that gnawing dysphoric feeling. I'm looking at you, Lilith. This is what you look like? And you're still talking about being ogre hun sneedhon?
I know what you are, Lilith.
But it's not just enough to hear about the effects, you gotta see it for yourself.
I'm such a massive ogre hun. I literally look like a man. It's so over for me. I'm such a sneedhon. I'm never gonna be able to be seen as a woman.
Her speech has become incoherent jargon, so niche and terminally online, only 3 people can actually understand it.
All the terms were right. I'll never be a woman. I mean, look at my shoulder to chest ratio. These shoulders are so broad I can't walk through an open doorway properly. I'm such a fucking hun.
She browsed LGBT one time and she got this brainworm. I mean, you can't help but pity them.
LGBT was right. I should have just slept with my brother.
What makes brainworms unusual is that the trans woman wants to be a woman. Sometimes they might even pass as a woman. They could be spending their entire paycheck on Ukrainian bathtub estrogen but still show signs of brainworms. So, the question then becomes, what causes these brainworms? Trans femmes are the most fetishized and hated minority out there. Half the time when someone writes a TDS-filled rant on the internet, you can tell they wrote it with one hand. God makes his most obsessed chuddies the thirstiest. To the rest of the populace, transgender people are at best fetishized, but at worst, hoo boy. Did you know trans people are the cause of every single problem known to man? It's the fall of Western civilization as we know it. Unless they're hot, then I'm gonna sub to their OnlyFans. When faced with the social environment of fetishization and hatred, they can't help but internalize some of it. As the famous jokester once said, you are not immune to society. In this generally transphobic environment, the trans woman becomes terrified of becoming the caricature of a non-passing trans woman. If they passed as a woman, then they would be free from hate. Hey, they might even be fetishized. So, passing becomes the ultimate goal at all costs. No longer is transgenderism about forging one's own identity, but conforming to the standards of others. Rather than be oneself, they would rather be hiding in a hoodie. But there's another even more insidious brainworm creator. Female body standards. When I was a cis guy, I had the absolute worst fashion taste. I'm talking Nintendo t-shirts and gym shorts, but it didn't matter. As a man, you are held to different body standards. If you want to dress like a Redditor, the worst you ever get is a roaster. Now, let's look at female body standards. Society is psychotically obsessed with valuing women not for their skills or abilities, but their looks. Eating disorders and plastic surgery are seen as healthy because it makes dudes hard. You want to be valued as a woman? You better look like this or this to be considered one of the good ones. Hell is a prison of our own creation, you know what I mean? Ooh, yeah. Skirt goes spinning. So it's easy to see why trans women fall victim to the brainworm virus, but then the issue becomes, how do we solve it? Hate is addictive and considered noble when directed at the self. It feeds endlessly upon your insecurities, leaving you nothing but a brainwormed husk. There is no silver bullet cure for brainworms. The impetus is on the wormy individual to change their thinking. It requires courage and strength to be able to fight those who want you dead. It's not an easy task at all. Advice isn't going to instantly de-brainworm you, but it can help. But if I could give any advice, stop browsing 4chan. It is a known fact that the LGBT board of 4chan helped create the brainworm virus that terrorizes the transgender community like crack in the 60s. The LGBT board can best be described as digital self-harm. Depressed, suicidal boy motors coping and snowing 24/7 that they'll never be a woman when they look like this. Fun fact, people who leave TTTT have a 300% chance of becoming a normal, well-adjusted trans person. But if you're still brainwormed after leaving TTT, here's a general list of advice to help you stop hating yourself. Learn to love yourself. Go to therapy. Seek psychiatric medication. Touch grass. And stop being terminally online. If after all of this, you still feel brainwormed, then I'm sorry, your brainworms are terminal. Please go back into the 4chan quarantine and continue coping and snowing 24/7. Don't touch me, I don't want to get sick. But honestly, what can an e-clown do to de-brainworm you? Here's some wacky sound effects and platitudes. Feel any less brainwormed yet? Change must always come from the self. As long as a trans woman wants to be brainwormed, there's nothing that anyone can really do to stop them. But the question becomes, who wants to be brainwormed?
Hunter Schafer is clearly a Sneedhon, Ogrehon, Twinkhon, Passoid.
I smell brainworms.
In despair, there is at least certainty. Everything sucks, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's quite easy to give up. Just stop trying. Build a nice, comfortable shell where nobody can ever hurt you. Isolate yourself and terminally online brain rot. Never leave your room. Keep crying, as if tears change something. Better to have never tried than tried and hurt.
Ahem. This video is not meant in any way to discredit real felt gender dysphoria. Every trans person experiences it to different degrees, and I by no means wish to write off gender dysphoria as just silly little brainworms. But some of you brainwormed little boy motors need better self-esteem. It's honestly ridiculous. I swear to God, if I see one more dianetic Q-angle chart proving you're actually a disgusting gigahun, I'm gonna go fucking lane mode. And buddy, you don't want to see me when I go lane mode. Hold on. Wait a minute. Self-hate to borderline concerning levels? Suffering from female body standards? Being judged for your looks instead of your value? Did I just describe a cis woman? Oh no. Trans women really are women. I understand everything now.
Transgender Shadow Council detected.
Transgender Shadow Council detected.
Oh no, the Transgender Shadow Council, which controls the entirety of world politics, is after me. Please like and subscribe, hit the bell. If you donate to my Patreon, you get to put anything on my PNG tuber background.